And we should be focusing on things that matter. And the people around us matter. So let me just stop here. What do you guys? Yeah, go ahead, Julie.
One thing, as Huda and Anne Marie were talking, one of my mentors, one of the things that he said to me that has stuck with me all these years: hire smart.
Mm.
Want to make your life easy. Do not be scared of hiring people who are as smart or smarter than you. Hire smart people, and it is true. If you hire people that are not up to your level, that's where problems start. But if you hire those good people who are smart, who have imagination, even the ones that come up with the out of the park ballpark ideas that are out in left field, you still need those people. And the other thing that I needed as I got older was I needed to hire youth. I needed younger
Mm.
people
Yeah,
to give me energy.
yeah.
Don't be afraid to hire smart people. Your life will be so much better, your whole institution.
Mm.
And the other thing that I can tell you is that when I interviewed people, if I talked to them for 45 minutes to an hour and they never mentioned children, I knew they were not a fit for me.
Right.
And one of my facilitators always, her question in an interview was, if we hire you, what are you going to bring to our party? What are you going to bring and help us do at our school? So to me, those are kind of fall into what everybody said here. But don't be afraid to hire smart people. It will make your life so much easier. And your whole building will just have a wonderful, and the party atmosphere, the family atmosphere, doing all these things people have talked about. I think I said this week, as we were just talking,
Mm.
you
Yeah.
know, I took mine on a dinner cruise.
Yes.
We fed them every time there was an in-service day. Whatever the special day was, we did something for them to let them know how much we appreciated them. And you just don't know how far that really goes until teachers start to go to their boxes and see if there's something special in there. It
Hmm.
is part of that family situation. But thank you for letting us be a part of this today. And I turn it back over to Greg to shut my mouth.
Well, no, I love what you said. Hire smarter. Because I did the math once. And the math says the following, that your school cannot aspire any higher than the mean of the mental ability of all of your teachers and staff, maybe one standard deviation. And so, if you've got people that are not smarter than you, how are you going to make your kids smarter and ready for college? And so, let me tell you a story. I don't think I ever told you this story. Do you remember the Living Word School?
Yes, I do.
And I was a consultant for that school.
You were the consultant and I led the review.
Yes. And so I went down and look, I had to rebuild that leadership because it was toxic, it was radioactive. Zach can tell you that. And I was introducing accreditation to the instructional staff. Listen, Julie, they didn't want to be there. And it's one of the few times in my life when I'm in front of a crowd and I don't own the crowd because I can own the crowd. These people didn't want to be there. And I let them go that day. About a week later, I needed to go back because I needed to begin giving people assignments for school improvement. They didn't want to be there. So the owners and stuff were in the room and said, look, can I have the room? Can I have the room for just a few minutes? Yeah. They left. And it was such bad leadership that there was no followership. They were not going to follow this man and his wife. And so I said the following. I'm going to bribe you. I will make you a pizza party. I'll feed every single teacher in this school. No leaders are welcome to come. Just me, my staff, and you, if you'll follow me. And they did. They followed my leadership. They jumped in. By the way, I cooked 42 pizzas for them. But it was a good time. You went to that, didn't you, Zach? The pizza party? Yeah. And so, yeah. But another thing that I did, Julie, I could do it in China, but I would, even if I were the principal of School of America, I'd find a way. I stopped hiring. I hired attitude even more than aptitude because I can coach somebody up. I can train somebody. I cannot fix your mentality. And listen, attitude determines altitude. And if you are not a positive person, then I'm sorry. If your school is filled with people, so I did. I hired smarter. I look at Zach. You know, Zach's the smart guy in the room. Um, but I also hired attitude over aptitude. Who else? Who else? Any nuggets you want to share before we get out of here and let these people go?
They need to fit in your family.
Just one little caveat that ties into something that you said. And I'm going to use a quote from a Star Wars movie and Carrie Fisher's Princess Leia character. And the movie was the one that was in 2015 that made 2 billion. So the empire is defeated, the evil empire is defeated, but the new order, so the rebellion turns into the new order, but the new order fails. And Carrie Fisher's character is asked the following question: why do you think we failed? And she gives the most salient answer about being cautious about thrusting leadership upon people that do not need it or wish to be leaders. And she says the following. She says, because we underestimated people's need to be led.
Yes.
Yes. So not everyone wants to be a leader. The young gun Generation Z millennial that only has 2 years of experience, they want to be mentored. They don't want us to be deploying facets of distributed leadership upon them until they're very, very confident and being able to do that. Now, are they, as teachers, leaders of learners in the classroom? Of course they are. But we're talking about something higher up in their career where they see that their trajectory is headed that way, but they don't wish that right now because they want to be ready. I remember something Greg taught me, and I never told you this, but this is how I knew that I wasn't ready to be a lead evaluator. Because Greg told me way back in 2017, when he became a lead evaluator, he was doing reviews and they kept pushing him. Well, you're ready to be a lead. You're ready to be a lead. And Greg said, we were sitting at the dinner table. He said, no, I'm not ready yet. And I internalized that. I'm like, oh my God, if Michael Jordan is not ready, I'm not ready. So I didn't even think about being a lead evaluator until 2 years later, right? Because then I understood how, it's so easy for us now, but then, there's complex things. You look at this, you tie this in, you have synthesis and analysis, and oh my God, there's just so many moving parts there, right? So this is something that I often think about when I think about these generations. Not everyone has the need or desire to have leadership be thrust upon them, at least not at that given moment in time, wherever they are in their life, in their career, preparedness, and et cetera, et cetera. So that would be just something to tie into what you mentioned, Greg.
Yeah, I look. Go ahead.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
Actually, we have noticed that most of the leaders, school organizations, I want to say only schools, it's all any business leaders, they refuse to hire young leaders, means the new generation to be as the leaders in the organization, feeling that they cannot do it or they still have no experience. Although I do believe that these people, these young leaders, can bring a range of benefits to the organizations, as they often bring a fresh perspectives and energy and innovative to the organization actually. And if we talk about the digital age, actually these young leaders are often highly proficient in the technology and can quickly adapt with the new tools and new technology in the world. But again, when we hire even teachers in schools, especially schools, we always put a condition that they should have at least 2 to 3 years of experience. So then, who's gonna give the experience for this new generation or these new graduates if we don't give this opportunity for them, and we train them and we lead them actually?
I agree with that. Go ahead, Iman.
I actually hired this year like 4 fresh graduates, and my HR was telling me, "Are you sure about them?" It was like, "Yes, definitely, I'm sure, and I will train them personally." One of them, actually, I just expected her to be an amazing leader, and I will start to mentor her and like step by step, because I can see a leadership in her. My HR,
They might surprise you, Iman. She will surprise you, believe me, because I have this experience with them. They are amazing, especially those the new generation. They have very, they are very intelligent. They have very fresh mind and very,
exactly.
very clear mind, actually.
Yeah, they are fresh.
They know what they want. They know what they want to do.
They make everyone and the school like, okay, they are having new ideas, and that makes the old stuff like, oh, they are doing something new. We need to know, like they need to cope with what is happening. Mm-hmm. So it was like
into the environment all around them. Yeah,
it gives me personally energy because I'm mentoring them, like everything for them.
Yeah.
And so I like it.
Yeah, and when you do that, and I go to what you said, Zach, I've tried to never set somebody up for failure. As you're trying to grow leaders and teachers, I do my dead level best to always put them in a position to succeed and not fail. Because when people fail, it's threatening to them. It scares them, and get them these small victories. In fact, something has happened in school, and we can talk about this next time, but schools are not in finance. We are not on Wall Street. We are not building cars. And so, this whole wave in the last decade or so of KPI and OKR. So these are ways that we assess our teachers. Those are not meant for schools. Schools should be measuring success. Yes. And help people define success in that classroom, on that day, in this week. And when you show them that they're succeeding, then, Iman, you build those wonderful younger minds into awesome and amazing leaders. All right, anything else before we get out of here? All right, folks, be well.
Thank you so much.
Fair day. And I will see you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.